Hi guys, how's it going? In this video we're going to try to understand what in the hell is going on in Northern Ireland. When I read the comments by Edwin Poots, to whom I refer to personally as a Putz, because I truly feel it's more appropriate, by the way. Now, for those of you that do not know, this is the bloke that objected strenuously to the introduction of legislation by Arlene Foster that would ban the use of medical therapy or medical intervention to reverse homosexuality. Now, I think that's worth summarising. This bloke thinks that by some form of hocus pocus or by the power of Grayskull, homosexuals want to, or by the way, might need medical attention to help to reverse their true feelings. Now, if that didn't give you whiplash, he also subscribes to the theory that mankind as we know it today started just 9,000 years ago. And all those scientists in every department, in every science lab, in every school, in every university, well, they're all wrong. When it comes to the origins of mankind, anyway, they're wrong according to the Putz. So let's go.
Good Lord, didn't anybody here subscribe?
Now, before we get into it, can I ask yet again that you share this video across every platform you can think of in order to help put a stop to this bloody madness and to perhaps help those who unfortunately have been completely hoodwinked by so many self-serving politicians who just told barefaced lies and continue to do so, being supported by the mainstream media. So, to Mr. Edwin Poots, I think for the sake of this discussion that we should leave out the part that when he was interviewed about his belief in the 207 radio debate with the Times columnist Matthew Paris, he rejected the Big Bang Theory, saying, "You're telling me that cosmic balls of dust gathered and there was an explosion." Well, we've had lots of explosions in Northern Ireland and we've never seen anything good come out of that. And yes, that was his explanation. And yes, this guy was democratically elected by the voters in the Lagan constituency, which may give you some of you at least, an insight into just how polarizing the political landscape of Northern Ireland is. Now, however, what we are going to examine is his recent comment and in his official capacity as the Agricultural Minister in the Northern Ireland Assembly, and his reference particularly about Boris Johnson's announcement of the breakthrough trade agreement with New Zealand. Now, in this regard, I think it's worth mentioning that the UK has had an agreement with New Zealand, albeit under the EU, for more than 20 years. However, Putz seems to think that the deal has been done in some clandestine way to hammer the farmers of Northern Ireland. Now you must ask yourselves, why would he think such a thing? So my advice to you is to sit back in your chairs, put on your seatbelts and get ready for some serious whiplash, because we're going to go on one hell of a roller coaster ride with this guy. And he was not acting spontaneously. This was a written reply, okay? You see, according to Putz, the New Zealand deal, along with the Australian deal, could be disastrous for the farmers of the UK and especially the farmers of North of Ireland. So, just so that there is no confusion here, let's see exactly what he said, okay? And he said, and I quote, if I misquote, forgive me, but it should be, I will put it on the screen. "I fear that if the approach that the UK government has taken with Australia and New Zealand is confirmed in the ratified free trade agreement, then the agricultural sector in Northern Ireland and the rest of the UK will in the future come under severe pressure from imports, yes, with a resulting negative impact on farm incomes and viability. This would be disastrous for our producers and for rural communities, okay? And cause serious issues for food security at times when global supply chains are disrupted." But Putz was not finished in this rebuke. He went on further to add, and I'm not paraphrasing here, when he said, I am very disappointed there has not been greater involvement of the devolved authorities, okay, in the negotiations. And this is something that needs to change in the future, given that this deal has the potential to have a significant impact, and on that I presume he means negative impact, on agriculture, which is a devolved matter. Now, why that's a devolved matter is beyond me. And if it is a devolved matter, why aren't they dealing directly with the EU? It is absolutely crucial, he went on to say, that Northern Ireland's agricultural sector is protected and the integrity of our food standards are maintained. So, in short, Poots wants the North of Ireland to follow its current rules. It wants the North of Ireland to maintain the EU FISO and phytosanitary rules and regulations. And Poots does not want to risk having its market exposed to suppliers from outside the EU who do not follow these rules. So, this obviously means that he primarily wishes to protect Northern Ireland farmers. Okay? Now, for those of you not too familiar with Northern Ireland politics, let me give you 20 seconds on this. The DUP, of which Poots is a member, were traditionally supported by and represented the unionist community, not the EU union, by the way, the UK union, and in particular, the farming community. The farmers originally supported the UUP, but as that support waned, it generally basically migrated towards the DUP. One of the main issues being faced by the DUP today is that they campaigned aggressively for Brexit following a negotiated promise of an extra $1 billion investment from Westminster, which we covered in a previous video. Now, but many of the farmers wanted to remain, and the recent poll of circa 10, I think it was about 10,000 people, conducted by Queen's University Belfast, supports the statement by Sefcovic that the majority of the voters in the north of Ireland, the majority of the trade organisations he's met with, support the current protocol and do not support Brexit, which now leaves Poots and the DUP in a really sticky dilemma. Because they claimed just about 2 seconds ago that the protocol was causing major problems about the freedom of movement of goods. But now I've done a complete 180 and are claiming that as Westminster is doing whatever it wants to, and to hell with the consequences of those voters on the ground within the devolved nations, it means that the protocol as it stands right now, and if implemented as it stands right now, would mean beyond a single solitary doubt that the Oompa Loompa Lord Frost and Bojo the Clown did not, do not, and never will show a single modicum of interest in the well-being of the people of the north of Ireland, and instead are using them as cannon fodder. It also appears to me that Poots has finally had no choice but to admit this to his voters, but has disguised it as some form of show of strength to finally stand up to the BS and to look after the best interests of his constituents in the run-up to the elections in May. So this means that Poots does not want beef or any other meat products coming from the UK into the north of Ireland unless it meets with EU standards. Thanks for watching. See you on the flip side. Keep yourself safe. You all take care now. Bye-bye.